Welcome to BaseballGuys.com. I'm your host on Around the Horn, Ray Flowers. Steven Strasburg threw for the Nationals today, and as has become commonplace with him, it was the talk of the world with all eyes of the baseball universe centered squarely upon that right arm. He didn't disappoint whatsoever against the Royals. He lasted 6 innings, allowed only a single earned run, didn't walk a single batter, struck 9 out, and even more amazing, 75 of his 95 pitches were strikes. Now he emerged with a loss because Brian Bannister actually pitched a slightly better game, at least in terms of the runs allowed. But Strasburg has looked absolutely fantastic at the start of his big league career. He's got a 41-5 strikeout to walk ratio thus far. He's fulfilling everyone's wildest expectations with him his first trip through the National League. Look for Strasburg to continue to mow down batters. No one looks like they have a chance against that righty and that power stuff at the moment. Edwin Encarnacion, his outlook has completely changed compared to a couple weeks ago, and it's totally different than a guy like Strasburg. Encarnacion started hot in his return from the disabled list. He then fell completely on his face, couldn't do anything at the dish, and was designated for assignment. Now, surprisingly, at least somewhat surprisingly, no team claimed him. So Edwin Encarnacion is still a property of the Toronto Blue Jays. He'll be sent to AAA Las Vegas to try to find his swing. Looks like the Blue Jays are going to get a chance to try to fix whatever ails Encarnacion and take that chance with that talent to see if he'll ever truly live up to the potential that everyone sees residing within him. Josh Beckett's got a bad back. He's been on the disabled list for a lot longer than is expected already, and it looks like he's going to miss about another 3 weeks. Now, he's back to throwing. He had a very good session today on Wednesday, but the team is still looking for him somewhere around the All-Star break. They don't want to rush him back and have a reoccurrence of this issue, so look for Beckett to make a strong comeback right after the All-Star break. Gil Meche and Luke Hochevar, 2 pitchers for the Royals, 2 pitchers coming back from injuries of their own, and 2 pitchers that also look like they might be back sometime around the All-Star break. Now, Gil Meche's got a shoulder, Hochevar's got an elbow. Both guys seeing a little bit of improvement, both guys feeling better. Again, they're both a couple of weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks away, maybe a little bit longer, but it looks like the Royals are getting a little bit of infusion of talent back into that starting rotation with 2 big right-handed arms. Johnny Cueto, another big right-handed arm, not an arm that's attached to a big body, and that's always been a little bit of a concern. He's a smaller guy. He's about 5'11", maybe 190 pounds. A lot of concern about his ability to stay healthy over the length of an entire season. He's had some issues with his health the past 2 years. Started out great this year and then talk about falling on his face, fell completely on his face at the start of June, allowing 17 runs in 17 innings pitched. His last 2 times out on the hill, he's pitched much, much better, including on Wednesday. He's now 7-2 on the year. His ERA is in the 3.9s. His WHIP is 1.28. And he's put up some very, very solid numbers. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see him continue along the lines of his overall production this year. He's got a big arm, and as long as he can stay healthy, he can be a very effective pitcher for the Reds and for his fantasy squads. Joey Devine, completely different direction with Devine. He was absolutely spectacular a couple years ago in the second half. Looked fantastic. Looked for all intents and purposes he was going to be the A's closer. He hurt his arm, eventually had to have Tommy John surgery, missed all of last season, and continues to have setback after setback this year. Each time where he looks like he's about ready to get close, another issue comes up. Now, he's going to visit Dr. James Andrews yet again. There isn't a belief at this point that he's done something significant to that arm that he's going to require further surgery, but the fact that he's going back there, the fact that he's been completely shut down in his rehab, obviously means that he's not going to be back anytime soon. The A's have got to hope at some point he gets back this year, but those hopes have got to be falling to a smaller and smaller ratio with each continued setback. And finally, we've got the situation with the Rays, which is a little bit of an interesting situation. We've got Wade Davis, who was given an opportunity to fill that 5th role, started out very well for the club. The team said, look, we're going to let him go. We've worked him through a minor league program. We're very confident. We're not going to monitor his innings. He's a big young kid who's ready to take on 180, 200 innings pitch a season. Well, he's done a very good job of taking the ball every 5 games, but unfortunately his performance has really, really taken a turn for the worse of late. In 4 starts in June, he's 0-4. His ERA is over 7.3. His WHIP is almost 1.7. He's pitched very, very poorly, obviously. The team gave him a vote of confidence, though. They said they're going to stick with him. They're not looking to remove him from the lineup at this time, which is really good news. It's kind of surprising news, actually, because Jeremy Hellickson is down in the minors, and he's absolutely tearing it up. Hellickson's the next great big arm with the Rays. They seem to continually turn out these guys on the pitching staff. But look for the Rays to continue to give Davis at least a little bit more rope to see if he can find what ails him. They're really in his corner, though Hellickson is very, very close to being ready to give a shot to be an effective Major League pitcher. I'm Ray Flowers, BaseballGuys.com. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to stop by twitter.com/baseballguys so you can get all your updates throughout the day. I'll talk to y'all again soon.